Hello everybody, welcome to another video on this channel. In the last videos I announced that I'm gonna make a tech talk specifically about boards, and today I want to tell you how you're gonna be able to go faster on your board by tuning your board. And this is actually quite simple because there are only so many things we can adjust about a board, but in order to go faster, the main idea is to trim everything far back so that the board flies. But at the same time, we still want to have control, so it depends a lot on the conditions. So yeah, when it's really choppy and wavy, you need a lot of control to go fast, so trimming everything to the back might not be the fastest option. But obviously when the water is flatter and the conditions are easier to control, you're gonna trim everything further back in order to get the board flying as much as possible. And yeah, there are mainly three things we can do about the board, one of which is the mast track position. So I think this is pretty obvious to most of you guys. This is the mast track, and we can trim the board by putting it further forward or further back. Obviously, the further back you put the mast base, the more the board will fly and the less control you will have. So typically the easier the conditions are, the more back you will put the mast, because simply you're gonna have the board flying more and you're still gonna be able to control it because the conditions are not so difficult. When it's really wavy and very windy, you're going to often have the problem that the board keeps flying off and you lose control. If you have that, you're going to put the mast base further forward. Also, it depends on your sail a lot. Some sails have the pressure point further in the front, so that means you have a lot of downforce on the board. If you have those kind of sails, you want to put the mast further in the back, and if you have lighter sails with a pressure point further behind, your board is going to fly a lot just because of the sail, and then you're going to put the mast track further in the front. The second thing we can do is we can adjust the foot strap position. For me, typically, because I want the board flying, I just put the back foot straps all the way in the back. It's the same concept with the mast track. Further in the back, more flying, further in the front, more control. You can also vary the distance between the foot straps. So you can, for example, put the back straps all the way to the back and the front strap all the way to the front, and that way you're going to gain a lot of control. And you're going to have a wide stance, which is also really good for tall sailors. For me personally, we have three different options in the JP boards. As I said, I always have the back straps all the way in the back and the front straps in the middle. But if you want the board flying a lot and you feel like your sail has a lot of downforce, or you typically sail really flat spots, you can also put the front straps all the way in the back and the back straps all the way in the back. What's important is that there has to be kind of a symbiosis between the mast track position and the foot strap position, and really the only way to find the best option for you is to go out on the water and try different options. So the third thing we can do about trimming the board is obviously the fin. So yeah, we can put different fins in. I get so many questions on what fins I use. So I want to talk about the length only today. I'm going to make another video about different fin brands and what kind of fin is the best for you. And if you're curious about that video, I highly suggest you to subscribe and put the notification bell on, because that way you're going to see that video, which is going to come up very soon on this channel. So as for fin sizes, I personally have three different board sizes, which is a 62, 71 and an 85. The fin size depends much more on the board width or the width of the tail than it does on the sail size. So for the 62, my best fin size is a 33, and I can really use that with any sail down from 5.6 all the way up to 7.0. I would vary like 1 cm. So for 5.6 I would maybe go to 32 at times, and with the 7.0 I would go to 34 at times. As for the 71, I personally use almost only a 37 centimeter fin. It can go sometimes, same thing, it can vary by 1 centimeter, it can go up to 38 centimeters or down to 36. And for the 85 centimeter wide board, I typically use a 46 centimeter fin, and again it can vary, go up to 47 or down to 45. So these are my suggestions for fin sizes, and there's not really much else you can do about the board. I'm gonna make a separate video. Again, if you don't want to miss that, make sure to subscribe. I'm gonna make a separate video about how to tune your sail for different conditions, how you can get faster by tuning your sail. I'm gonna upload that also within the next days. So make sure you don't miss that. And there's one top tip I have. Many people change the surface area of the board by sanding it or filling it up and tuning the shape of the board. I don't suggest that because you're not allowed to compete with that. But my top tip for you would be to take the sanding paper and put it in like in a block. This is 1000 sanding paper. You can go down to 800, but I wouldn't go below that. And what you can do is you can go to all the surface edges that touch the water, and you can go forth and back and sharpen those edges on the side as well as on the top to get a sharper edge. And what that does is it gives you a little bit more of a grip on the water, I feel like, and gives you a little bit more control in my opinion. So yeah, those are my tips for you to get faster by tuning your board. So all the tips you can apply to any board that is made for flat water or for some kind of racing, but it's not really going to work for move boards per se, wave boards, freestyle boards. This is specifically for boards that go straight and do jibes. This was a pretty short one, but there's really not so much you can do by changing your board. I hope it helped you guys. If you think you learned something new, make sure to leave the video a like. And as I said, if you don't want to miss the other videos about how you can get faster, make sure to subscribe, and I see you in the next one. Peace.